Okay, today we're doing a little video on changing an air compressor, which is not an air conditioning compressor, but an air compressor for an air suspension on a 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis. I probably should have started the video a little earlier, but I'm figuring you can get through some of these basics right up until this point. I'm not an expert at this, but I was looking for a video on it and I couldn't find one, or I found one that wasn't all that good, so I figured I'd make one. Like I said, I'm not an expert, I don't claim to be, but you could follow along here. Now, right underneath where the air filter is and the windshield washer reservoir is where the air compressor is. Let me give you a look at a new one. This is a brand new one right here. Now, it all goes together a lot different than I imagined. When you replace it, what was happening was the one that was in there was making a whole bunch of noise. And it was just so unusual. I swear I haven't had one of these air suspension cars yet that hasn't been a pain in the ass. Now this is what the new one looks like. One is a compressor and one is a dryer, because the air that goes into this system cannot have any moisture, is from what I'm understanding. Now let me show you the old one. This car has a little over 90,000 miles. I know I used to have a Lincoln town car. Now I just recently bought this Crown Victoria. It's a 2011, this is 2003. I really like these Ford Mercury cars. You can see there's one out in the driveway here. But let's take a look at the old one, and maybe yours looks like this. This is it here. I mean, it has to be from the Pennsylvania weather. And the road salt is the only thing I could figure. Probably where that thing is located didn't help much either. It's just really corroded. And there's a gap there. I'm going to guess some road salt got in it. I don't know. Might be where it sucks air in, I don't know. But this is the old one. It was starting to go bad. Okay, we're back in. Now to get the old one out, there were 3 bolts, and you have to kind of jack the car up a little bit to get under there. There was one here, and one back here. Or was it here? That's right here, here, and one here. This is the plug for the windshield washer. I think this is the plug to let you know when it's out of fluid. And this is the plug for the air compressor. This is the hose right here. I always imagined it was going to be a metal line, but it's this piece right here. And this kind of slides in. See if you get a close look at this. There's like a little groove on it. Let's see if it'll show up. I don't know if you can see about a quarter way down, there's a little line there. But what that does, it'll be right here when you get the old one and the new one. And it's already in there when you take everything out. And the way you kind of get it out is you push down on this red device, or this orange ring, push down, and at the same time that you're pushing down on this, you pull out on the tube and it comes right out. So I'm going to imagine that should just snap right in. There's going to be, there's a bolt here, there's a bolt here, and a bolt here. So it should just drop right in and plug it in. Now this, I'll show you where this goes too. Let me show you the price on this. Now, if you're nice to the boys at the Ford garage, they give you a little break on the price. There it is right there. It lists for $410. It's an original Ford part, and I got it for $315. I mean, it's still expensive, but that's just the way it is, I guess. Okay, let me set it in place. Now, what I might do is put a little dielectric grease in here to keep things nice and clean. And I'm probably going to put a little tiny bit of grease on these stems that go down in there so I can bolt this thing in. So let me get that far. This is dielectric grease, connector grease. You know, sometimes it's good to use a little bit of this when you're plugging things in to keep them clean and dry and help them get together real nice and keep them from corroding. So it's a little different than regular grease when you're using electrical things. I probably need an assistant when I do these videos. It should just slide right in, drop into position. There. This piece, I think it went like here. Goes in there and snaps. You gotta fit right in that little slot. And it snaps into position right there. I think that's where it sucks the air in. It's probably designed that it won't get moisture in it, because it's like kind of trails down, it'll drip out. Would be my guess. Okay. Oh, it slid right in position. It's in. That's all there was to it. See, it won't pull out. No special tools needed. Remember, to get that out, you pull on the hose and press down on that ring at the same time. Okay. This is the plug. I'll put just a little bit of grease in there. And let's make sure we bolt it down before we plug anything together. Okay, that'll stay there. Sure that's in. It's in all the holes. Kind of cushioned a little bit where it kind of rides. Alright, let's crawl under the car. Okay, to give you some perspective where we're at, there's the tire. Let's see if you look under here. Okay, we're laying on the floor. Here's a bolt here. There's kind of hard to see. One here, and one back in there. So it's just right off the inner fender well. And they're 10 millimeters. So I put just a little bit of grease on there to help make this go in pretty smooth. I'll start it, and you can see it. I'm going to finish tightening those. Okay, we'll take a look. Right here, at the tip of this third one, and here. This is the hole that's underneath the compressor. Now maybe it's just me, but this is here's the tire right here. It just seems that, I guess this is like a drain hole, that this should be this way, so it drains away from the tire. Is kind of in this direction behind me. It looks like water could actually sneak up in that hole, but if this was kind of draining the other way, it might be better. The water from the fender probably got up under here somewhere and got in there. Yeah, this should face the other way. Oh, they quit making these cars now, so it doesn't matter. Alright, time to head back on top. Yeah, I know they tell you don't crawl under a car, but when it's just jacked up like this, but you know, you could just reach just right under here. You just need to get a little bit down, reach in up under there. Okay, back on top. Okay, this should plug in. Snaps right in position. You can see the compressor. Those bolts are tight. Just kind of rods. Okay, that's the compressor. It's in position. You see, when you go to put the windshield washer back together, I was going to remember which plug went where, but see, they designed it that you're not going to plug. It's designed, you know, a specific plug, one for each one. This is the where the windshield fluid goes. So we'll put that in. Now remember to shut the air suspension off in the trunk of the car. There's a little switch back there. I probably should show that to you if you don't know. When you jack the car up, you should always do that. All right, let's take a look at the windshield washer. This is the reservoir. See, here's the pump motor. That plug goes here, and I'm going to guess this lets you know when you're out of fluid. I'll clean that up a little bit. Yeah, let me show you that switch. Every car that has air suspension has this somewhere. I'm not sure about General Motors, but every Ford I ever owned, it's in the trunk somewhere. It's a little toggle switch, off and on. And it even says there air suspension. Okay. And this little device here shuts the fuel pump off. It pops. If you're ever in an accident, I knew a friend of mine, he bumped into something once and he tried to keep going. And he made it about half a mile down the road and the car shut off. He couldn't figure out why. All he had to do was come in and press this to reset it. It's designed that if you're in an accident, it doesn't just keep pumping fuel to feed the fire, so to speak. Okay, that's it. Let's go back up to the front. Snaps into position. Okay. Should just rest here. It's okay. Okay. Let me bolt that baby in. Okay, we are underneath the back of the car. Well, I got the car up in the air a little bit. You could see what the air suspension looks like. This is it right here. And you know what's funny? Guys in the business get mad if you call this an airbag. They're like, oh, an airbag's what you deploy in an accident. This is an air spring, but it doesn't look like a spring at all. It's actually a big airbag. Now, when it goes bad, and I had bad ones on my Lincoln, right here, this kind of folds, but the car's up in the air, so this kind of overlaps right here. It'll fold over itself, and it'll start to get lines like this in it, where the rubber will start to tear. And when it goes bad, it's going to start to go bad about right here. So if you get your car up in the air, and you see like little slits in it, that's it going bad. But there must be a solenoid that holds the air in it, even when the compressor is disconnected. So this is it right here. So you see what an air spring, aka bag, looks like. And when you disconnect it, way up here above the frame there's a little clip that pulls out. And it just kind of sits in there, which is strange, you know. You think it would fall out. And there's a somewhere up in there. I don't feel like getting way up under it. No, wait, there it is. Let's see. It'll show up. It's blue. There it is. That's where you disconnect it, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken. Nah, let me look. Maybe not. That's one of the connections. But there's a little clip in there that holds it, and it turns once, and then the air comes out, and it turns twice. The second time, I think there's one of those on his bag somewhere. That might be it. I don't know. I can't get him far enough under it to see. Anyway, that's the air spring. Okay, back up front. Okay, we're getting there. This piece is in. 1, 2, and that's the third one there. So the air horn goes down inside here. Okay, we'll bolt this in now and put the air filter in. Okay, bolts are in. Put the air filter in. This piece will go over top, and those, see these little things right here that stick out? Those are going to fit in those holes right there, and it clamps down. So we are getting there. You want to make sure you do it right. So these little pieces are sticking out. Clamps down. Clamps down. I'm going to tighten this with a screwdriver, and I think we'll be done. Then we'll lower the car down and give it a test. Okay, we can see the low windshield washer fluid is working. Check air suspension because I have it turned off. I didn't start the car, so let's hit the switch. It may, I'm going to leave the key on. We may be able to hear the pump. Let's see. See, the car could be at the level it needs to be. I may see if I can get my daughter or somebody to come down and sit in the back of the car, and we'll see what it does. And that's good. Okay, the key's on. I'm going to get my daughter to hold the camera. So I'm going to go sit on the back bumper, and I believe the compressor should come on when I do that. We'll see. If not, I may have to start the car. Nope, I don't hear anything. I'm trying to hear what it sounds like.
It's not as loud as it used to be.
Alright, just stand on that rail. It took probably 2 of us to stand on it to make it work. Sound like it worked and it shut off. Okay, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, you can hear the air coming out now that we get off of it. It's the solenoid releasing the air back to where it needs to be. Okay, I guess it's a done deal. We'll keep an eye on it, put some windshield washer fluid back in it, and we should be all set. 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis air suspension compressor.